late.
Chris Jones and the Beyond the Books team have been looking into this huge phenomenon.
Guys, within the last few years, 400 universities have started esports teams. Universities like Duke, the University of Ohio, and the University of Utah. It is the biggest college sport that no one over the age of 40 is talking about.
Gaming's bigger than the film industry. It's a $150 billion industry.
In the last 4 years, the number of colleges who field a team that plays video games as a sport has exploded.
And this is kind of their space where they work.
AJ Dimick runs the U's esports teams. 34 U of U students have scholarships to play video games competitively. Those guys who play for the Jazz, that's sports. People might say, you know, playing video games, that's not sports.
Well, every one of these guys has to practice and perfect their skill level. They practice as a team 20 hours a week. They have skills. They have roles in that team. They have to communicate to each other just like teammates do.
Was it a hard sell in the beginning for your parents?
At the beginning it was. It was something that was very different, especially for both my mother and my father, actually.
Junior Alec Parent is one of Utah's star players. He's helped the U win one of its 4 national championships. His dad, a former college wrestler, was skeptical at first. But that changed when Alec received $1,000 a year in scholarships plus tournament winnings, which he gets to split with his teammates.
I was able to have, for the first time last semester, where I didn't have to worry about any sort of extra expenses. But before that, I was having to make sure that I'm looking towards my parents for assistance.
Aside from the money, Alex says he will learn many of the same lessons that basketball and football players learn. Andy says gaming skills may translate better to a real-world workforce.
The similar aspect is really the team. We have a team that we're able to make sure that we have to work cohesively for everything to work. Otherwise, if we're all individual stars but we have no team cohesion, everything falls apart.
There is some research that says esports is the sport that best translates into a job.
That's one of the reasons Kevin Dustin, the athletic director at Salt Lake Community College, is starting an esports team next year.
But if you come in as an esports student, then you might easily go over to the computer science department, get an internship there, become a graphic designer, a software engineer.
So this is attractive to exactly the kinds of students that universities want to be attracted to.
Dimick says the students who play video games are traditionally interested in science and engineering and have better grades than the average student. For students like Alec, it's exactly the kind of college life he only fantasized about.
I have to remind myself that I'm getting paid to play video games. That's something that 10-year-old me would have dreamed about and said, that's a fantasy. That's never going to happen.
But it is.
It is. It's reality right now.
Now, Dimick predicts that esports are going to be huge. He says within the next 10 years, he thinks that esports are going to bring in as much revenue as college basketball and college football. Guys, back to you.